Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another ABC of romance recommendations, this time featuring Australian authors. I normally try to make sure I don't double up on authors in these lists, but I have done that a couple of times, so apologies for that. But there is still a significant number of Australian romance authors that I'm going to talk to you about, and I'm really excited because I have loved learning more about the Australian romance writing community and finding more books, and I'm of course going to continue to find more people in the future and have more recommendations for you. But yes, we are going to dive into some of these, and I wonder if you guys even knew that some of these authors were Australian. So let's get started. For the letter A, I have A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. This is book one in the Dust Walker Brides series. We have a heroine who is offered up by her village to a demon as a sacrifice in exchange for protection for their town. Despite his monstrous appearance, she comes to realize that all the hero wants is a companion. For B, we have Breaking All the Rules by Amy Andrews. This is a traditionally published contemporary romance / rom-com story. It is an age gap older woman story about a woman who has left her corporate life behind, moves to a small town to try and get away from it all, and ends up falling for the local small town cop who falls hard for her very quickly. C is for Can I Steal You for a Second by Jodie McAllister. This is book two in the Marry Me Juliet series, which is a series of rom-coms based around a Bacheloresque TV series. And in this one, it is a sapphic romance between two of the contestants who are on Marry Me Juliet, who fall for each other instead of the hero of the show. D is for Dragon Ever After by Louisa Masters. This is book one in the Here Be Dragons series. This is an paranormal romance series, and this first book features the former leader of a secret paranormal government who falls for the wing leader of a dragon shifter clan who have been stranded on Earth after their home planet has been destroyed. E is for Envy by Lana Paherchek, which is book one in the Deadly Seven series. This is a series that features superheroes and paranormal elements that have been smushed together into creating a very cool, very gritty, almost dystopian-like world. It is a fast-paced romance between a genetically engineered, tortured soul superhero and a community doctor who is intent on doing good in the world. F is for Fake by Kylie Scott. This is book one in the West Hollywood series. This is about a very popular A-list actor who needs a fake girlfriend, and so he ends up hiring the waitress at his favorite hole-in-the-wall restaurant to play the part. G is for Sticks and Stones by Grace McGinty. This is a why choose romance story between two hockey players, a CEO, and a woman who has just adopted the orphaned baby of her father's affair with a younger woman. H is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, which is a very popular book and was one of the first books that really hooked me into the romance genre. So say what you will about it, this will still remain at the top of my list because it's what really got me reading a lot more romance. This is a rivals to lovers office romance between two executive assistants to heads of publishing houses who end up competing for the same job. This one still has one of the best caretaking scenes I have read in a romance book. I is for Irresponsible Puckboy by Eden Finley and Saxon James. This is book two in the Puckboys series, and after breaking up with his ex-girlfriend, hockey player Dex decides to fake marry his best friend and teammate in Vegas. And then when they wake up, they find out that actually they didn't get fake married, they were married for real. And so they have to deal with the media fallout from that. J is for Bad Saint by Monica James. This is All the Pretty Things book one. This is about a woman who is kidnapped by three men after her husband loses her in a poker game to a Russian mobster. K is for Not My Type by Evie Mitchell, which is book one in the All Access series. It is the contemporary romance between a woman who uses a wheelchair and runs a sex positive podcast about accessibility, and the man who teaches her about accessible shibari. L is for The Longing of Lone Wolves by Lana Paherchek, which is book one in the Fey Guardian series. This is about a woman who is sent into the future where the world is very much not the way that she left it, and she finds herself the fated mate of a cursed wolf shifter. M is for The Medic by Anna Hackett. This is book 8 in the Norcross Security series, which is a romantic suspense series, and in this book we have a female former special forces operative who ends up falling for a former combat medic when they have to go undercover to find out who is hunting the homeless population in their town. N is for Not Your Pucking Girl by Sheridan Ann. This is Denver King's book one. This is a college hockey romance between the captain of the hockey team and a communications student who is tasked with following and promoting the team throughout their season. O is for Owen by Eva Fox. This is a very short novella. I think it's only about 36 pages long, about a local firefighter in New South Wales and a single mother who has recently moved to town. P is for Power Plays and Straight A's by Eden Finley and Saxon James. This is book 1 in the CU hockey series. It is a queer brother's best friend college hockey romance with a very nerdy hero and an athlete who has his eyes set on the NHL. Q is for Love Under Quarantine by Kylie Scott and Audrey Carlin. Audrey Carlin is not Australian, but Kylie Scott is. This is about two neighbours who start up a relationship while locked down in their apartments during the pandemic. R is for Reverie and Redemption by Cadence Snow. This is a paranormal Why Choose story about a woman who believes that she is cursed and the three men that she keeps hearing and seeing in her dreams. S is for Start a War by Elle Thorpe. It is a dark Why Choose romance between a woman whose brother has just died and left her his half of the sex club that he owns with his best friend. It is her relationship with said best friend, the heir to the local biker gang, and a murderer who may or may not have escaped prison in a previous book series. T is for The Takeover by T.L. Swan. This is the second book in the Miles Brothers series. It is an age gap romance with an older heroine who has 3 sons and the relationship that she develops with the man who is trying to take over her late husband's company. U is for Upside Down by N.R. Walker. This is a queer romance about a guy who is discovering his identity as asexual, and he joins a support group and he ends up falling for the facilitator of that group. This book also features a really cool cast of side characters that turn up on the bus that these two characters travel on, and the soup crew on the bus might just be my favorite thing of this book because it's just such a wholesome group of people who are deeply invested in the relationship of the two heroes of the story. V is for The Virgin Hunt Games Volume 3 by Mel Teshko. This is a sci-fi romance that is the Hunger Games meets the Olympics meets Gladiators and is absolutely bonkers and wild, although I will content for violence, some dubious consent, and some animal cruelty in this book, so just be aware of that going into it. W is for Wicked Games by MJ Scott. This is book 1 in the Tech Witch series. It is about a woman who has an uncanny ability to solve problems in code, and she is hired by the leading company in VR games to solve a glitch in one of his programs, and she finds herself caught in a bit of a magical web and has to uncover and learn about her own magical abilities that have been kept from her for a very long time. X is for The X List by Evie Mitchell. This is book 3 in the Larson Brothers series. This is a neighbors to lovers story about a hero who loves to read books and a woman who won't back down from a challenge. Y is Ready for You by Samantha Lee. This is book 1 in the Valentine Bay series. It is a small town romance with fake dating to convince the heroine's ex-boyfriend that she has moved on. And finally, Z is Bound by Truth by Suzanne Cass. This is book 1 in the Island Bound series, which is a romantic suspense series. We have a journalist and a cop investigating the disappearance of a child on Kangaroo Island. So those are 26 Australian romance author recommendations. In the comments, I would love to know if you have read any of them or if you are planning on picking any more up in the future. If you would like to leave me an Australian romance author recommendation, feel free to do so down below. I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.